Wow, that certainly was a night full of surprises, mind-blowing wins and devastating losses that we didn't see coming. From red carpet fashion to Taika Waititi slamming Apple, from family reunions to that weird Eminem rap, here's the only Oscars 2020 must-see moments you need to know. The ultimate game-changer of the night undoubtedly was Parasite. Not only did it win Best International Feature, but it was also the first time in Oscars history that a foreign language film won Best Picture. In addition to this mind-blowing success, Bong Joonho won Best Director and, together with his fellow colleague Han Jin-won, went on stage to accept an award for Best Original Screenplay. So, 4 Academy Awards are already on their way to South Korea. And yet, Bong Joon-ho remained so humble throughout. At his red carpet interview with Entertainment Tonight, Bong said that though he is very honored that a Korean movie was nominated for an Oscar, being able to communicate through his art with a worldwide audience means so much more. Bong's Best Director Award acceptance speech was so sincere and uplifting. He thanked each fellow director nominated, saying that his favorite quote, "The most personal is the most creative," was taken from Martin Scorsese, prompting the whole audience to stand up and give an astonishing round of applause for Scorsese. But that wasn't the only great speech of the night. Joaquin Phoenix took to the stage to accept the Best Actor Oscar, which, let's be honest, didn't come as that much of a surprise. The guy truly deserved it. Joaquin gave a deep and touching speech about the fight against injustice, how we should be more comprehensive in our support of those in need, and thanked all those in his life who had given him that kind of understanding. As Joaquin said, "I have been a scoundrel in my life. I've been selfish. I've been cruel at times, hard to work with and ungrateful. But so many of you in this room have given me a second chance. And I think that's when we're at our best, when we support each other, not when we cancel each other out for past mistakes, but when we help each other to grow." While we definitely saw Joaquin's win coming, while Brad Pitt getting an Oscar for Best Supporting Actor wasn't a total shock, it still wasn't exactly a given. I mean, he was running against a legendary lineup comprised of Tom Hanks, Anthony Hopkins, Al Pacino, and Joe Pesci. When his win was announced by the absolutely fabulous Regina King, showing off a pastel pink Versace dress, Brad took to the stage and gave a much more serious speech than he had done during the SAG Awards, where he had joked about Tarantino's alleged foot fetish. Though Pitt opened up with a rather on-the-nose political joke, saying, "They told me I only had 45 seconds up here, which is 45 seconds more than the Senate gave John Bolton this week," Pitt also waxed nostalgic about his life and career before dedicating his award to his kids. As Clever News reported, Brad had had to skip the BAFTA Awards last week because his son Maddox was finally willing to talk to him, giving father and son a chance to reunite. So we can only imagine how much it meant for Brad to be able to go up there and thank his kids. And while some directors couldn't take a moment to breathe in between running back and forth from the stage for their awards, despite submitting 2 hit movies, streaming service Netflix left the awards empty-handed. However, Netflix's studio chief said that he doesn't see the lack of awards from previous awards ceremonies as a pushback. "We got 24 nominations, the most of any studio. Our films have been honored across the board." Well, you can't argue with that. And yet, movies were not the only main feature of the night. We were also gifted with some fascinating and some pretty weird music performances. Billie Eilish performed a cover of the Beatles yesterday to accompany the In Memoriam section, honoring late personalities whose work contributed to cinema both in front of the camera and behind the scenes, which started with remembering Kobe Bryant and ended by honoring Kirk Douglas. Director Spike Lee paid his own tribute to the late Black Mamba, wearing a purple Gucci suit adorned with yellow stripes that represented the Lakers' main colors, leaving no doubt about the symbolism of his fashion choices with the number 24 stitched on both his back and his lapels. It was a very touching and sweet outfit, just one of the many that we were treated to throughout the evening. Billie herself wore Chanel head to toe with her white baggy outfit, proving once again that she doesn't follow fashion, fashion follows her. But getting back to music, get ready for some crazy stuff. The Eminem appeared out of nowhere and performed his hit song, Lose Yourself. And in case you missed it, Eminem won Best Original Song for Lose Yourself 18 years ago, which was the standout track from his 2002 film 8 Mile. However, Marshall Mathers didn't show up to pick up his award at that time. So, when he finally went back to give his performance, better late than never one could say, it didn't exactly play out as well as it could have. Eminem performed the fully explicit version of the song, and as a result, the censored pauses were sometimes so long that it felt like the mic wasn't working for half the performance. Super frustrating, I'm sure you'll agree. And while some celebs were trying to enjoy the rap classics, Martin Scorsese didn't get it for sure. This year's Best Original Song Award went to Elton John, who gave an amazing and sparkling live performance of I'm Gonna Love Me Again. And no less colourful and bright was Billy Porter's choice of red carpet outfit. Porter is famous for rocking tux gown hybrids, but this year's Kensington Palace-inspired golden dress outdid his previous outfits. Designer Giles Deacon, who also happened to be Game of Thrones star Gwendolyn Christie's partner, designed something extraordinary indeed. A bit more modest and classy, but yet no less memorable, were the gowns worn by Charlize Theron and Natalie Portman. Charlize, nominated that night for Best Actress, wore an Angelina Jolie-inspired black Dior gown with a fantastic leg slit, while Portman wore a mesmerizing haute couture Dior dress with a chic black cape embroidered in gold with the names of female directors she wanted to support. Scarlett Johansson's fascinating silver silk gown was, unfortunately, not prophetic of an Academy Awards win, in that Oscar de la Renta's name on the label of Scarlett's dress ended up being the only Oscar that Johansson took home that night. While that left many ScarJo fans disappointed, Renee Zellweger is also an undoubtedly great actress in her own right and deserved the Best Actress award as much as Johansson. Johansson starred in 2 Oscar-nominated movies this year, Marriage Story and Jojo Rabbit. And speaking of Jojo Rabbit, Taika Waititi won an Oscar for Best Adapted Screenplay for his movie, and used the opportunity in the Q&A room to slap back at Apple's design policy of all things. Waititi, brilliant as always, said, "Apple needs to fix those keyboards. They're impossible to write on. They've gotten worse, it makes me want to go back to PCs." Last but not least, we had a sweet and cute moment with Timothée Chalamet photobombing Margot Robbie on the red carpet. Margot just squeezed his cheeks and jokingly shoved him off to the side. So what do you guys think of the winners? Do you agree with the choices of the Academy? Let us know your impressions of the ceremony in the comments below. Thanks for watching, and, as always, stay awesome.